Good morning, Eric.
What's up, Will? How are you doing?
Yeah, it's almost
How
one
early
o'clock.
is it?
It's almost 12:59 in the morning.
Oh my gosh, you poor boy. Poor boy.
Nah, I'm doing good. Actually, I'm enjoying every minute of this. I'm still
But when do you
learning.
go to bed then? When do you go to bed?
Uh, I usually go, I guess, around 5 in the morning.
Whoa. Oh, so you stay up.
Yeah, I try to wake up. Normal work is around 9, so I still have roughly around 3 hours. Good morning,
Whoa.
Tanel.
Whoa. Boss already there. Tanel,
So,
did you hear us? Yeah.
oh yeah, here we go.
Hello.
Good morning.
Bully Daughter's in the house as well. Uh, Mohammed is not here yet, but I will just sign off. I will just watch a recording. I'm sick, and we're
Oh, what
gonna get.
happened?
Oh, I don't know, summer cold or something like that. So
Oh,
nothing fancy.
hope you get well very soon.
Hey, Moment.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
I see you guys started. Very good. Hello, Bo.
Okay.
Hello,
Hi,
Eric.
guys. Bojer here. Yeah, without the camera. Sorry for today. Yeah,
Don't worry,
I'm in Budapest, Hungary.
Nice.
Yeah, for a quick
Congratulations.
trip. Yeah. So my laptop camera isn't working, but I'm here.
No worries.
Moment.
Nice to have you.
I will watch a recording. I will sign off. I'm not feeling that good.
Oh, yes, please have a good recovery. No worries.
Thank you very much, guys. You have a great day or night with or morning
Yes.
with Moment. Thank you very much.
You recover well.
See you then.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay, I see Tanel. Welcome. Hi again.
Hello.
Hello. And then Bosidar, we said hello. Bo, we said hello. Keval, you're connected, I think. Hello. Tayo.
Hello everyone.
Hi, Keval.
Hello, Mama.
Hello, guys.
Hello, Keval. Hey, Tayo.
Good morning.
Okay, I think it looks like we have less and less note takers, maybe more and more people. Eli is going to try to join on the way. He has a last minute visitor and maybe he will join us. We also have Wouter. I don't know, Wouter, are you here? Who just joined us from the Netherlands. I don't see him connected. Kim, welcome. Let's see. Yes. So I don't see any new people. I'll start sharing my screen, guys. Is there anyone who can play the role of Eli and of Eric, just to help me with the chat if there is anything, please? Daniel, can you make that little effort? Are you okay with that?
Never tried, but to look for the questions, you mean?
Yeah, if you see a question in the chat or a hand raised while I'm presenting, because I don't have the full view,
okay.
Just hit me up. Or if I forget to share the screen and then I'm just talking, you know, these little mistakes of mine, if you don't mind. Okay, I'll just rearrange the screen and let's start here. I hope you guys are all doing well. Eric is a bit sick and best recovery. He has just went off. So I hope everyone is well, health and everything. Okay. Today it's going to be a bit... tonight.
Just to ask it, but in general, we can agree that if anybody has a questions, they can ask, yeah?
Yes,
right
indeed.
away.
Exactly, but some are very polite and they raise their hands.
Okay.
And I don't see it. Yeah.
All right.
But you're right.
Good.
For the desert nomads like us and the Vikings like you, we speak straight away.
Yeah. We just throw the axe.
Yeah. We're a bit wild, but some of our brothers from other lands are more more educated.
Civilized.
More civilized than us, yes. Thank you, Tanel.
Okay. Good,
So
good.
is it a correct understanding that Estonians have a large part origin from the Vikings?
They were like a late Vikings. When Vikings were already civilized and Christianized, then Estonians were like going and burning down Swedish cities that were already Christians. So it's like,
oh, so you were the last gangsters.
But it was like, I think, influenced, and then later, yeah, it's like late to the party sort of Estonian Vikings. Yeah.
Got it.
So.
Got it. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start. So updates and intros. I think no new members. Let's move to the next point. I will update you guys about our little challenges and some progress we've done. And then we will share with you the first data set. I know that many of you asked that as we are scrapping data, that we share among us, among the master agency program and the AIA program. So we have a first file, which is the Y Combinator startups. I will show you very quickly. And then today we're going to focus on kind of closing the chapter about Directus API and do a small tutorial so that you guys who have all received your Directus instance and the VPS, you can start to play around with it. So we prepared the templates, and today I'm going to show you that template and how to run it. It has a little bit of all the use cases, so please go ahead and ask questions as soon as I start demonstrating about the syntax and how to do X and Y and Z. So that will be the main focus, the tutorial on the batch data processing, because that's a little bit the more complex, but also the more powerful. I will explain why. And then we will close on any questions and answers. And that will be good for today. So let's start. We are still in the same area. We're between formatting data, enriching data, or even inputting the data. So here we haven't moved. Now, about the challenges that we have with RTILA Studio, we just released 3 new versions, 2 new versions for Mac, Mac Intel and Mac ARM processors, and also for Windows a couple of days ago, last week. So those of you who had some bugs installing it, if you can please download this and install over the current version of RTILA, it should solve some of those issues. If you still have issues, please submit a support ticket. We're still going to push new versions. As you can see here for Mac, it's a beta version, but we're going to push a stabilized version once we have enough feedback. For Windows, it was already pretty stable, so we just updated it. But if you guys see anything, please submit a support ticket, and we will solve this soon. We will make it. It's already solved, but there are still some little issues we want to hear from you. The second point where we had a lot of delay was the VPS and the backends that were not delivered. So I think, Kim, you received yours as well this week. Bozidar, you received yours. Keval also very late. So I think there were a few other missings that we delivered this week. So I think you guys are all equipped with this tool now. And that's also one of the reasons we wanted to focus this particular session on the Directus API. And let's move to the next point. The next point is we opened the dataset category in our marketplace. This is the first file. At the moment, is only shared with you guys, and it is available in our lesson section inside community, inside artila.com/community. If you go into the course data track, and then this lesson called batch data processing. And that lesson is somewhere here, this lesson here. And then you will see there are 2 zip files. One zip file is the dataset for Y Combinator. It's YC dataset W25. W25 is winter 2025 batch, because Y Combinator, they have 2 batches per year, summer and winter. And we scraped until the last batch that finished in January 2025. And then the idea is that you guys can download and upload this batch, which has 5,000 companies, 5,000 plus startups, and about 10,000 founders. And then we will scrape every batch that comes new, and we will update this and supplement so that you can guys get the updates automatically when we scrape them. So it's not a dead data set, it's a data set that is alive, and we are scraping it so that you guys don't need to scrape this over and over again. We will it will be like a service that you access, and you just download the latest updates. So this is a nice database to start with. And next week we will do maybe we will cover in our session an adapted template for importing the CSV files of Y Combinator. But for today, we have a different template and different files. It's in this file here called Directus Batch Files.zip. So inside you have a few things. You have here, I'll show you. You will find two files. You will find the RTILA file that I will show you today, the .rtila file, and then you will find also a CSV with 100 companies as an example on how to read from a CSV file. So that's what is contained in this zip file. So this is accessible to all AII members, and that's what I'm going to use today. Let's go back to my slides. Okay, so this is the first, but of course, like we announced last week, we also have gathered actually a couple of millions B2B leads database, mainly in the US and Europe, and a little bit around other countries, but mainly US, Canada, and Europe. And that also will come as we go. We will release and share with you guys more files, more leads, and also set up an instance where we have all the leads, and you guys can access those leads via API. And we can, as we said, all of us enrich that massive leads database together, and then we will monetize it, everyone in our own niches. So this is just like opening the first step towards the data sets that we share among us. Any questions so far about the bugs, about the Directus instances and the data sets before I jump into the demo?
So Mohammed, I just have one quick question.
Yes, Kival.
So the panel that you showed, like how to access that panel, where you showed the database?
The panel where I showed the database?
Yeah,
this
the
panel
one
here.
that no, the one that you showed the database, Y Combinator database.
Ah, yes. So you go to rtila.com/community. Here, rtila.com/community.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can request access, and then if it's not automatic, we will validate it. Once you are here, you can see here we have a small community, like a small little forum. And sorry, I need to do a lot of updates, but you can see people are contributing. And then you have a course section here. So you go to the course section, data track. And in this data track, we added a new lesson called batch data processing. Okay. So the content will come with the files and the presentation of today and the video, but the files are already there. If you guys want to download it right now, it's already there. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for the question. Any other question or anything that I may have missed so far? Okay, good.
Seems that not. Everything's good.
Yes, it's good. So we went fast. Now I can spend a bit more time on this batch data processing. So I'm going to switch to it's actually a tutorial, and I hope that you can get at least a first understanding. So once you open this file that is in the zip, let me show you what you need to do first. Just hide my video. Control-Shift-L to display the it's not working, so I do inspect console. I do Control-L. I empty this section just so that we can see what we're doing here. And when you start, when you load this profile, this template, sorry, there are three ways of using the command. So you can see that here it's Directus Batch using static data, and then using CSS data, and then using CSV data. So we adapted our batch command to pull data from our three main ways of populating data. That's what we are doing right now. And what you need to do, especially for the CSV file here, the CSV mode, when you look at the field definitions, which is the field mappings, we map Directus fields to the CSV field. You see here, you need to update the path with your own path once you download the file that we shared with you. This file is called 100-orgs.csv. Of course, on your computer, the path will be different. Mine is user1. Maybe yours will be users /tunnel, you know, whatever it is. So just make sure that you update the correct path, whether you have Linux, Windows, or Mac, the path that leads to the file. So you do it on every line that is calling the CSV file. You need to update it with your own file path. So that's what you need to do for the CSV to work. Yeah. Before we forget. Now, let me show you the 3 ways to populate data in batch. The first one is using static data. So here you can see it is still the same API batch command, Directus API batch. And the first thing you need to do is to configure your command. And you can see here we have these collapse and collapse triangles for you to open and close this section. So in this section, you need to put your Directus URLs. So replace, I'm using demo.aiabus, which is our demo instance, but you need to replace here and put your own URL. Either you have a different URL or you have something else .aiabus. And then remember, if you're using our schema, it should be /items/ the collection or the table that you're targeting. Right now, we want to target and write inside the table organization. So let me show you how to find this table name or this collection name when you are in your Directus. So this is the demo Directus, yeah? This is the demo Directus with the data that I'm going to show you how to import it. So when you are here and you go to organization, you can see here that this is what you need to copy. This is the collection name. Another way is to go into settings, data model, organization, and then you will see again, this is the organization, how you call it, the collection name. So that normally should not change. But when you want to write into a different collection, remember to change the collection name. So once you set the collection name, you need to choose bearer token in this option. You can put your token here. This is the API token to access your Directus. So let me show you how to generate that. So we already generated one for you guys. When we sent you the credentials, there is an API token. But let's say you want to change it. The way to change it is you go into your AIA instance, the Directus, you go to users, and you go to the user that you want to use for the API, you click, and then you scroll down to the bottom here, and you will see here there is token. So you can click refresh, and it will generate a new token. And remember to save this token and use it here on the right side. And then remember to save it into this user profile. This allows us to control the access to through the API. So that's how you get this token, this API token. So I'm not going to save now because I have my old API token here. All right, so discard changes for this one. Let's go back here. Once you put your credentials, which is the API token, when you're dealing with static data, you don't need to use CSS Collection. But sometimes, so this is an example of a website that we want to scrape that has tabular data. And you see here, there is a header row. Now, I don't want this header row to go into my Directus. So we have an option here where you can skip. If there is no header row, you say no. If there is a header row and you want to skip it, then you select skip header row, yes. So this way, it will not create a useless line with wonder name, longitude, latitude, image, and official website. That's the option that you need to check here. Now, if you want to skip the header row, that's where you do it. And then also, if you want to avoid creating duplicates, then you can select duplicate, check for duplicate, yes. And then you need to tell RTILA and Directus what is the field against which you want to check that this is not a duplicate entry. And for us, it's the organization name. So that's why I put here the field is name. If the field name for this Niagara Falls is already in the database, it will skip it. Yeah. So this is the base configuration. Yeah. So now I can collapse it. And let me know if you have any questions, because I know that it's a lot of data in one go. So let's take some questions just in case, or at least double check that we don't have questions. I will load here. Let's see.
So the duplication check is against the database, not only on this website, but from our already existing database.
That's exactly right. Yes. So when you go here, you see here, for example, organization. I already have, if I scroll down here, I already have Niagara Falls, you see? And it's the column name. So because Niagara Falls already exists in the column name, then in this field or column, sorry, not column, in this field called name, it will not add Niagara fields, even though it's in this table. So yes, you're right. It will double check that that field name value is not yet in our database. And let's see, any other question, guys? If I can.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yes, Keval, right?
Yes.
Yes, please go ahead, Keval.
Yeah, so let's say that there is like one record already exists, and the phone number is like I'm scraping after like let's say 2 months, and the phone number is updated, and
Very
the
good, yeah.
duplicate check is on the name. So will it update the phone number or will it not update? What will happen to that? Is there a like change tracking or is there kind of thing?
Yes, so that's a very good question, and it was actually part of the questions and feedback we want from you. So we have two ways to address it. Either we use this command to do what is called upsert, and correct me, Keval, if it's the wrong technical term, where if it doesn't exist, it will update the fields that have changed automatically. So that's one way. If you guys think that it's valuable and it's enough, we can do that. If not, we can add a section like we did for Directus regular. So we have Directus single, not batch, but single entry here, the Directus API version 3. You see here we have different modes. So if I close this, I open this, we have read, update, or create new data. So for batch, we can decide whatever you guys think is best. You want to have like this, a menu. So we don't have read in batch because this command already can read in batch. But we can differentiate between update and create, or we could just make this command always upsert. What do you think, Keval?
Yeah, so I have seen like a requirement like this where like they want to do the change tracking. So let's say the record is there, but what happened to that record? Let's say the license is expired, you know. So
yes,
so that is like very important. Like someone want to know like there is 100 organization, and next month they want to know like out of those 100, like this 20 has license up, you know, expired.
Yeah, I see what you mean. And then they can trigger a response or an email or something.
Correct. Yeah. So,
okay, so I think to do that, we would need to create a new table that is called a new collection called changes. And then we would log the changes so that then you can kick off an action based on a change. And also you can record the change and the date and which user updated and triggered that change. So for that, we will need to work on it, Keval. We will prepare a template, a new collection table called change. Would that do the job?
And also right, you have to like identify whether there is something changed or not. Maybe like I don't know how it works, but like taking the MD5 of entire data and taking the another MD5 and then comparing. If the MD5 is different, that means there is something changed, right? So
yeah, we could do that. So but we have to do it at the level of the database field by field.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, I think. And let me show you something because we kind of have planned for that. I'll show you what we had in mind. So if you go to settings and data model, you will see that there are many tables that we didn't show, we didn't display. Yeah, they're hidden. So we have one that is where is it? I think I deleted it by mistake on this instance, but we had like a collection called logs where we have the logs. So change logs, error logs. So that could be one way that we have an advanced logs table, which I don't see anymore. And we could use that log table, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay, any other question? Let's see if there is any hand raised. Daniel, if you see
Ryan.
something.
Ryan had some question.
Hello, Ryan. Welcome.
Hello. Yeah, just a quick question I threw in the chat. For some of these, and I apologize, I'm joining late, so if you covered this already, we could just move on. But
no worries.
For duplicates, I could see I would envision scenarios where we've got the same name but a different location. Like, can we set up some sort of decision tree or
yes.
like?
Yeah,
Excellent.
that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. So we're going to work on that. So at the moment, this command is mainly aimed at the initial import, because what we thought is that we all of us have been scrapping and saving as CSV files. So this is often going to be the initial import. But you're right, like Keval highlighted, for updates, and also for sometimes you have the John Doe, but you have 3 John Doe in your database because they are in different states.
Right.
Yeah. So we will add what we will add here in the configuration, which we have actually in the single batch. I will show you, is that we will enhance the unique field name here, where you will do a comma and you put location like this. So now it will be the combination of name and location that has to be unique, and that will do the trick.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You're welcome. But you have to make sure that you're using the actual field name of Directus. So you need to have a location field called location and the name, and that will do the job. So this will be added very shortly. Okay. So that's good. Now let me show you for this same question that you had here, Ryan. I'll show you on the regular Directus command. I don't have it here. I think I don't have an example here, maybe. But in the field definitions, you can apply multiple filters using the and. You see here we have the syntax. I don't know if it's clear on the screen, but we have a whole documentation that I have put the link here that shows you how to target and combine different requirements. Like we said, name equal John Doe and location equal this. So you can reach it also with this way in the single Directus API command. But for the batch, we will do like I told you, which is the simplest, is a comma separated location. Okay, thank you for the questions.
Yeah, with the comma scenario, is it limited to 2, or could you put in there, like, hypothetically, you could put in there like 3 or 4 or 5 things?
Exactly, yes. Yeah, we will do comma, and then you can put as many as you want. And the default operator is and. That means that all the 3 or all the 4 conditions will have to happen for the entry to be qualified as duplicate.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the most common. That's the most common use case, Ryan. But later on, we can add even more complex cases, like instead of and, that it's or. So it's either either the name or the location should be unique. But those are more rare cases. For when we do mass scrapping, those are more rare cases. We will add that in the documentation, by the way, and we will share with you. There is already an advanced documentation that I put on the course section about all the filters to use for Directus, but we will further enhance the documentation as we go. So right now, this kind of this template is your initial demo, and it gives you all the syntax on how you use hash, a field type, and then Directus field name, and then pipe, and then the CSV column that you want to match, and then pipe, and then the CSV path. So this is our current syntax on how to pull data from a column inside the CSV. But I will come back to it. Let's do the examples, and then I will detail for you how the CSV and how the CSS works. Any other questions about the first configuration that I showed here? We're good?
Seems so.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, guys. That helps us clarify and build better. So once you've done the initial configuration here, then we have this section that we call field definitions, which is basically mapping the data between the Directus columns, or sorry, the columns is matched here. The column is actually what we call collection in Directus. So the column is set as a collection, and now we're matching the fields of the collection with whatever data is coming from our side. So we have 3 modes of pulling data and pushing it to Directus. This first mode is called static mode, where you can put static data like I have 3 company names: Corporation 1, MHD Inc, and Allen Inc. Yeah. So this is going to create three companies in one go. That's what batch does, is that it will create up to 100 entries in one go, which makes everything much faster. That's the difference of batch API compared to the regular Directus API command. And then for all 3 of them, for all the companies, 3, 1000, or how many I can put here using comma, I'm going to assign for them the drop-down type field called main role. And the main role of all these will be my client. They will be clients for us, because I may have leads, I may have competitors, I may have suppliers. So these particular entries, I'm going to qualify them as clients. And then we have here a many-to-one relationship, because I want to track the source where I got these leads, these clients from. And this is source 1. So the way it works is that you do, again, the hash M2O. So in between the hash is the type of field. This is a many-to-one. And then I'm telling RTILA and Directus that the field name for the M2O is called source. And I don't know the source ID. So let me show you this, because this is a very useful thing that the command will do for you. Is that, let's say you have here in your collection, I go to sources. I have many sources. I have Y Combinator. I have manual entry, source 2, source 1. Yeah. But source 1 in my database has ID 1, you see here. But this, as a human, I don't know what is the ID of source 1. I don't know what is the ID of Y Combinator, in the database. What is the unique ID? So we have this option in our command to say that I want to do the lookup using the source underscore name. Yeah. So I put source is the name of the M2O field, and then I put dot. Dot is for the lookup. So I'm telling RTILA and Directus, I want to look up the source underscore name in the collection source. And the source that I want to apply is source 1 or Y Combinator or Google Maps, whatever you want. And then it will look up Google Maps or source 1 inside the database. It will find that it has an ID 1 or ID 25 or whatever it is, and it will replace it for you, so that you do not need to do any programmatic way. This will be done automatically. Does this make sense, guys? I know for Keval it's easy to understand, but for some of us who are more in the business, please don't be shy. Daniel, all good for you? For the syntax? Yeah. Excellent, excellent. So these are the basics for this command, and it only has 3 fields for you to learn. So let's experiment with it. I'm going to go now to the Directus instance. I'm going to go to my organizations, and I'm going to delete everything. And we're going to start from scratch. So let's delete all this. Okay, my database is empty. I have no companies, no organization, no relationship between organizations, no people, nothing. And today we're focusing on organization and creating relationships between a company to a company, organization to organization, many to many. So let's start from scratch. Now, when I go to my template here, the good thing is that since version 0.7, we are able to run commands inside RTILA, because last time you'd have to save, close, and then you would have to go back to RTILA here and run it. And then you have to run it to see what's going on. But now, many commands, not all of them, we're converting them as we go, but many commands now will run inside the inspector. So now if I reopen my inspect panel and I go to console here, and I do Control L, and I want to run this command here, and I double check, I have everything, yes. So you will read here and you can use it to debug. Now let's say I have everything. I'm going to do Control L, and I squeeze this down. I just look at these 3 things that I want to do, and I repeat. The objective today is to feed the input type of field called name, company name, with 3 company names, and assign to them the role client, and assign to them the source 1 as a many-to-one relationship. That's what I want to do. So let's now run it. And you're going to see here that the end will be different. And it said successfully inserted 3 items to Directus. And this was very fast. Yeah. So let's go now and look at this. If I click here and I come back to organization, there we go. We have Allen Inc., Mohammed, MHD Inc., new corporation coming from source 1. And then the main role is that these are clients for us. Yeah. So this is done. This is what we call static data. And now let me show you something else. What we can do is that you could also, when we say static data, you can actually use a dynamic data from RTILA. So if, let's say, I have whatever comes as so if I had my company names in a variable here, for example, let's say I'm calling it companies, and I had all my variables here. Now I can actually replace and use companies as an input here using our curly bracket. Yeah. So when we say static, it's not just static, it's just static text, but it can come automatically when you guys pull the data from another variable. So I will not do it right now, but this is just to show you that this is possible. And I will put back as it was, and I will delete this. And here I'm really using like fully static, but you can have it hybrid, static and dynamic variables from RTILA. Any questions so far about this simple first way of using the command?
How you started in here, the RTILA command?
How I started it?
Yeah, in inspector, and then.
Yeah, let me do it from the start. So we share the file. Yeah, you import it. So you will import from here, new project, import, and you will import from the Directus batch file is this one. Yeah. Then you click open. Yeah. Then it will come here as a project, and then you click inspect here. Yeah. So then it will open the browser, and depending on the browser you have, you may see the RTILA extension here. If you don't see it, go into extensions and make it to the, and open it. So this here will open the inspection panel. Okay. Now let's say you started from scratch. You can click new command and go into custom commands and look for Directus. And you will see we have two commands, Directus API Classic for one record at a time, and Directus API Batch. So I could just import Directus API Batch and reconfigure it from scratch. Yeah. But for your case, you don't need to reconfigure it from scratch because you will use our template. Just go to the configuration section here and replace your URL of your Directus instance. That's all you need to do here. You replace your URL, you replace with your token, and then you can run this template already. And you can play around with this syntax. Does it answer your question, Tanel?
You did in 1 minute full learning again. No, my question was in this shift control L, you're opening the inspection. And how you started, what was the command, how you started the RTILA?
Sorry, I misunderstood it. So hopefully it helps other people who wanted this. So
exactly. So that's
on Windows is Control Shift J. So Control Shift J, it will open it. Sometimes it open it like this as a new window. But let me refresh here. So you have to wait. You have the shortcut if it works. So I do Control Shift J. You see it opened it. And then the other shortcut to delete everything is Control L. Control L. Yeah. Control L will delete, clear the console. Yeah. Now let's say if.
And now how you start. And now how you started the
command. I will get to it, but let me show you one more thing. So if Control Shift L is not working, because on Mac is different, you can just right click on the page, go to Inspector, and it's actually part of the development tools. And then here you click console and you're back into the same place. Now, some websites like Facebook, they will not let you type anything here. It will ask you to first type allow paste. And after you type allow paste, it will allow you to paste into the console. So you have to read what's going on here. Now you see this little run command here. That will run. That will run the logs. It will actually run the command plus run the logs. So now I'm going to click it, and you're going to see it's going to start and inform you on what it's doing. And it did the job. Yeah. So actually, it didn't do the job because there are duplicates. Yeah. So then I do Control L again. And now I can go to my Directus and see what's happened here. Yeah, I didn't create duplicates, so it's good. I still have just 3 companies. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. When you click on this arrow, it does all the commands, yeah, not just the one task.
No, it only does this command here. You can launch the commands one by one. Yeah.
Okay. But how is it in console? You can run everything, start, or no?
Yes, so not all the commands. So let me show you, for example, another command where we did this is in custom command, experimental selector. So you see here, selector. So the selector command also has the option here to enable or not the console log. So sometimes we make it optional. Yeah. So let's say I enable it now, and now it will print in the console log. So even though it's empty, I'm going to just click run to see what happens. And when I click run here, it says selector null. So I couldn't do anything because I didn't select anything. Now let's say I select something here, Niagara Falls, and I just want the Niagara Falls. You see here, I got this selector here. Now I do Control L. If I run this selector, it's going to get me this CSS selector with the inner text value, and it will print the result here for me immediately. So let's run the command. And Keval, because you're here with us for a long time, last time to verify a CSS selector, you would have to run the project and alert it. So it takes much more time. But now you can just run it here, and you can see that we're getting Niagara Falls. And there is only one result. It's a unique result.
Yeah,
so
that's amazing.
Thanks, Keval. So more and more, we are adding this to every command. But at the moment, we started with the most important commands, which are the Directus commands, the selector commands. But eventually, everything will print in the console to help us debug. Does it make more sense, Tanel?
Yeah. Yep.
Let me show you another thing that we added, Keval, as well for the community. So let me clear this, Control L, and also I clear the CSS selector. And let's say now I am choosing Niagara Falls, but I don't want this and I don't want this. You see here, I'm now selecting only the locations. Yeah. So I have 8 locations because I think it's catching also the title. So what we added also in our selector, Tanel and team, is that when you have multiple values in one selector, you can choose how you want it to appear. You can have it as a single line with the comma as a separator, or you can have it as a multi-line, like a CSV, so that then you can feed it into a list command, Keval, so that you can start the loop immediately. So let me show you. Now I want it as multi-line. I want every location 1 per line with 1 single selector. So now if I run it, it's going to give me, you see, the locations as a list, all of them. Yeah.
Right.
And if I want them in 1 single line with comma, I just select that. I run it again. And now I have all of them in 1 line separated with comma. So we're improving our commands as we go. They become more easy and more powerful. Does it make sense, Keval?
Yep, it does.
Excellent. So that's how it works, Tanel. So you can run every individual command one by one to double check if it works.
Okay.
Thank you for the questions, because for us, we're always doing it every day, and then we don't think about how it works, the basics. The syntax is a bit weird. We tried different syntaxes and so on, but either it became too long or too complicated. So this is the syntax we have right now. We use the hashes to define the type of field, because Directus has many types of field, and every field would require a different API payload. But we don't want you to bother with the payload that is different for every field. We already we are matching the API load for every field. You just need to say what kind of field it is. And the way you do it, you just go to your Directus instance and you go to the settings here, data model. And when you're in the data model, if I go to organization here, this is my organization table, my organization column. Now, let's say I don't know the name, if it's an input or a drop down, you just hover and you can see here it's an input. Yeah, you see input with a capital I. So it's input with capital I, therefore that's what I'm going to use here, input with capital I. That's the type of field. What is the field name? The field name is name. So you can see here, the field name is name and is of type input. That's the syntax. So now I defined the type of field, the name of the field, and then we use pipe. After the pipe comes the value. So the value, actually the multi-value is all this. Yeah. And the same here. Here I'm saying it's the drop down. It's a drop down, and the drop down field is called main role. And the value I want to push inside is client. So let me look at our table here. If I have, what is it called? Main role. Let's make it a bit smaller here. Yes, so I'm looking at the drop down called main role. So I can do Control F, main role. So I hover. Yes, it's drop down with the D capital. So drop down with the D capital, main role. That's what I did. Drop down in between hashes, followed by the field name, main role, followed by pipe, and after the pipe, my value. It's the same for everything. The only difference is that when you do relational field like M2O, many-to-many, one-to-many, one-to-one, we offer one more additional syntax, which is instead of having just the field name, we allow you to add a dot and dot lookup field name in the other table. So the relational field dot the lookup field, and then you say, look for me for source one in this lookup field in the other table, and add it into the field called source. That's what our command will do. And do it when you do it 2 or 3 times, and then maybe you re-listen to this video, you will start to make sense. But if let's say now, Tanel, I'll show you here. I'm gonna delete everything and show you guys how it works. So if I delete this now, so you see here, I assigned source name as source one. Let's put it here. Now I'm going to delete it. So I was using as a lookup, I was using source underscore name. What is this source underscore name? Where did I get it from? This is because when you look at our data model, if I go to organization and I go to source here, the source is many-to-one. So many-to-one is M2O. That's how we use 3 letters, yeah? Many-to-one. And this is linking to the collection organization. Is linking to the collection source, yeah? So if I go to source as a collection here, now I go to source. Source is not using just name or description. It's using source underscore name to put the name, yeah? So that's what I'm doing. I'm saying the field source use with a dot lookup into source underscore name of the table source. So it will go now. What it will do is that it will go to source and it will search over this collection inside source name to find who is source one, because I told it source one. And then basically what it will do is that it will go in the database and it will find that actually source one has ID 1 in the database, and it will replace this for you automatically. You don't have to worry about. So what I wanted to show you is that I have 2 ways to do it. I can use the name of the source or the name of the company or the name of the person if I don't know the ID of the person in my database. But if I know the ID, then I just do source underscore ID. So I'm telling Directus that the source relational field look up the ID, and the ID is 1. I know that the ID is 1 for source 1. So now I can run this and I will get the same result. So I run this. Oh, it created the new 3 entries, and let's see if it assigned the source properly using the ID. And you see here, it got the same source 1 assigned using the unique ID from the database. But if I don't have the unique ID, because we as humans, we just have the value of the people name or the company names, I will do a lookup on that collection main name field. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Cool. So this is a bit technical, but you guys will get used to it. And for people who are technical, it saves a lot of time. I don't know, Keval, you would have had to do two additional queries in the SQL to find the ID, but here you don't need to. It will be the lookup is done automatically.
Correct.
Okay, so this is example 1 using static data. Any additional questions so far, guys?
Seems that
I
nice.
have somebody has questions. Sorry.
I have one.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, so where it is like where it has like multiple values like company names.
Yes.
So is it like considering comma as a like separating out the multiple values?
Exactly. Yes. So let's do it. Let's invent another company. So I'm
Okay.
going to delete all these companies, or let's change even the company names. Yeah. So I'm gonna add one just like your example. So let's add Keval Corporation. Yeah. So Keval Corporation, I just added a comma, and don't make spaces. That's the best. Is don't leave. So we are deleting spaces, but the best is not to have spaces just in case. So company name space company name space company name, and I added Keval. Now I do Control L. I run again this command, and now it should create 4 companies for me. Boom, and you see here 4 items created in Directus. Now let's go to the database, refresh, and Keval, welcome as a client in our database. Yeah.
Good.
So you could.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So my question was like, so let's say if the actual value has the comma, let's say the
Yes.
company name, there is a one company name which we are scrapping, that itself has a comma. What will happen? Like it will consider as a 2 different companies.
Yeah, that's the problem. So the ideal is to sanitize the company names, not to have commas. They can have dot, for example, .inc, .ltd, but commas, they create a lot of troubles. So that's one thing. One way is to sanitize the company names. Another way is later on, we can add an option for you to specify the separator that you want to use for your CSV, for your data.
Nice. Okay.
We're doing it in other commands, but because this is the first level, we didn't want to add too much complexity. So we're using comma for now.
Okay.
But
That's
you're
good.
right. You're right. Many times the company names or people name or a sentence will have a comma. Okay, good. I think we covered this. Yeah. Let's jump into the next step. The next step I want to show you, and Keval also, this is powerful for you because it will shortcut your scrapping and data saving, is that we have the same command, Directus API batch, the same configuration here. The only thing I changed is that I have added what we call a CSS collection. So I'm going to try to explain CSS collection for business people. And please don't worry, even if you don't understand fully what is a CSS collection, please understand the concept of it. So the concept of a CSS collection is like this. If I switch to elements here, Tanel and the team, here you can inspect the source code, yeah? So you as a business person, when you want to catch multiple data that is in a tabular format on a website, every row is actually the same in terms of structure. The structure of every row is the same. It's like a repetitive structure, yeah? So what we call CSS collection is the common container that every row is inside that container. So let me show you in the code. In the code, when I go here and I look at the code here, you can see that, you see when I highlight here, every TR is a row of data. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now all these TRs, because there could be other tables, there could be other TRs in other tables. All these TRs are inside this figure table or this table TR. So let me show you here. Once we are inside the TR, then I have my data. So my data here, for example, if I go on any of the TR, I have all my columns. Yeah. So the CSS collection for all the column data is tbody tr. Okay. For this case is enough because there is no other table. But if there was another table and I want to differentiate between them, then I should use figure in front. Yeah. For example, I should use figure, table, and then tbody. So I would do like this. Figure, and then figure, and then there is a table, and then inside the table there is a tbody, and then inside the tbody there is a tr, and then inside every tr there is the same bunch of data. Yeah. So this is the mother container. Up to here, from here to here, these 3 elements are my CSS collection. So you can call it the mother container. So once you set up the mother container CSS selector, now when you are inside your field, you only need to specify the columns. Yeah. So now what I say is that for the name of the location, I want to use the TD nth-of-type 1. That means that I want to use the column, the first column. So if I look here, when I am, because the first TR is the header. So the second TR has Niagara Falls. The second TR Niagara Falls has the first TD has the name, and that's what I'm telling to RTILA. I'm telling that TD nth-of-type 1 and get me the inner text. So this is the syntax, same as before. # inside input. That's the field type in Directus. The field name in Directus is name. That's the company name. And then there is a pipe. Now, once I put the pipe, that means I'm telling Directus and RTILA, this is the value. The value will come from this selector, which is TD nth-of-type 1 in the current row, because RTILA now will go through every row one by one. It will start with the first row, and it will get to the first column, and then it will get to the second column, third, fourth, fifth column. And once it finished getting all these TDs here, it will then go to the second row and get you all the columns of the second row, and it will do that in a loop automatically. All you need to tell it is to tell it for the name, for the company name, what is inside the collection, which column is carrying the name, and the column carrying the name is the CSS element TD nth-of-type 1, and the type of data is text, is inner text. So I say CSS selector, and then pipe attribute name. Attribute name is inner text, but sometimes it could be href. You see here, href, that means that it's a link. So you guys can follow the course we have on CSS selectors, because this is like CSS level 2 or advanced CSS, but either your technical team know how to do it, or you can learn. I'm not a businessman, but I finally know how it works. So I specify the CSS selector inside the collection and the attribute. And now RTILA will pull, boom, 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 all this data, assign it to the right place, feed it to Directus, and save a lot of time. So let me try this, yeah, so that you can understand what's going on. And here, this is a full example for you guys with almost all the types of data we have, because we are also uploading an image. And uploading an image is actually complicated. I don't know if you try to do that with Directus API, Keval. But to upload an image into Directus, you need to do 2 queries. You need to use the file upload endpoint, put the file in the system, get the file ID, come back with the file ID, and allocate the file ID to the entry, which is a lot of actions, yeah? In our syntax, you just use this. You use hash image underscore URL. It means that it's an image, and you're telling it, use the URL that I'm going to feed you. And you see here, Keval, the URL, we're getting it from the selector called, sorry, we're feeding it into the field called image inside Director. And then I have the pipe. And then I'm just getting the image of the current row. And I'm getting the attribute src. Let me show you here. I'm getting exactly this. You see here, I'm getting this image. And the URL of the image is inside the src. So that's why I'm using image as a CSS element and src as the attribute. And now it's going to grab this exact URL here, this URL here of the image. And this URL will be fed, will be uploaded to the file system. RTILA will get the unique ID of that file and will replace it for you and assign it to the right company name. So this is a lot of headache that is being done now. Again, it's a 2 or 3 queries that are done in one. Yeah. Any questions for the file upload?
But the image will be, not only the URL will be put there, but the image itself as well.
Exactly. That's the good thing about this.
Downloaded to the database.
Yeah. So it does 3 things. It goes, it gets the image. It will put it in your disk in your Directus. Yeah. It will save it in your Directus VPS, and then it will get the image ID in the database. It will replace the image ID, go back and make a query and say, this image for Niagara Falls, this is the unique ID. Now, so it's a relationship. Images are relationship. This is a relationship between image file and Niagara Falls as a business or as an entry. Yeah. So this is actually very complicated to do, but we made it work in this syntax. So bear with us. The syntax is a bit weird, but it gets the job done.
But you haven't identified here, below here you are M20 many to one, many to many. But with the image, you don't have this one here. You don't need.
It's automatic. No, the image is many to one. So it's always many to one. Yeah. For now, that's how. So this we follow Directus documentation. They don't have a many to many. They don't even call it a relational field. They just call it image field. You see, if I show you here, but just for your information, I'm telling you that. Yeah. Let's look at it here. You see here in organization. If I go to image, I look for the image here. You see, it doesn't say that it's a relational field. Technically, it is a relational field in the database, but they don't want to bother us with a relation field. They just know that we assign many images to an entry. So let me show you how you add an image. So here, when you create a new field, and you can go and look for image. Where is images here? Here, image, you see? It is in the relational group. But you don't need to specify if it's many to one or many to many. You just say it's an image. Yeah. And for us, you say it's an image, but there are different ways to upload an image. In our case, I don't even want to download the image to my computer. Keval, if you remember, normally you have to download the images to your folder. After you download them to your folder, then you upload them to the target system. Yeah. So right now we are how you call it in English, on the fly. We're not downloading it to our local computer. It goes from the web directly to the database. So that's why you have to use image_URL. This tells Directus and RTILA, don't even download the image in my folders. Just pick the URL and then get it auto-uploaded into Directus. And this is where the image is. So that's how it works. Yeah. This works with any file because you can also use PDFs. So for example, if you use this here, file, you could use file_URL and send the PDF. And then you will download the PDF, put it in your Directus, and relate the PDF to that company. Let's say you're scrapping the contracts or invoices of a company. You would use the file type. We will do more examples with files later on. Does it make sense a bit at least?
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So this allows us to upload the logo, the favicon. So you can also use favicon_URL or whatever you want to upload as an image. So let's talk now about the geolocation, because this is also a very nice feature that we have. You see here in this website, you have the longitude in this column and you have the latitude in this column. Now, with Directus, if you have a CSV file like this and you import the CSV, it will not be able to match the latitude and longitude because Directus expects a specific JSON format for geolocation. It's called a GeoJSON. Yeah. So let me show you here how we do it. When you are in your database architecture in the data model, you go to organization. And when you add a geolocation field, I will show you here, create field. You see here, you have a map type. So when you create a map type, you have different types of maps. You have point. Sorry, guys, do you still see my screen?
Yep.
Sorry, one second, I lost my screen. Okay.
Lost your video.
I'm wondering if the meeting timed out.
Hard stop. That's when the AI takes over. Enough is enough.
Yeah, that was enough. I'm out. Over and out.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh,
They
wow.
stopped.
It's totally down,
Yeah.
man.
And he took 2 more people with him.
Might be, yeah. Ah, Mohammed was calling in. Not. Yeah. Okay, good. We will tell some jokes.
He's coming back.
He's coming back, yes.
Okay.
At least trying to get back. So we'll see.
Uh,
If the AI allows him, so we don't know. So we'll see.
AI stands for allowed interference.
Yeah.
There
Exactly.
we go.
There he is.
Alan, you joined.
Fancy meeting you at a place like this.
Yes. Sorry, I need to catch up. Unfortunately, the recording was corrupted. I forgot to on the how you call it. I forgot to on the UPS that gives me a okay. Recording apparently catch up, so I'm gonna start a second recording.
Mm-hmm.
I'll just double check something, guys. 1 second. Okay, let's start the recording again. Thank you, Tanel, for announcing. And it's cutting again, but this time I have the UPS on. Do you guys?
Is it a power outage or what?
Sorry?
I think Mohammed, the AI is taking over.
Yes, I think something is wrong. 1 second, please.
So it's the lesson for everybody that even when you run and escape to Mauritius or some long, faraway islands, AI will catch you anyways.
Yes, it's not letting me off.
Oh no.
At least we still have a smiling face.
Yeah. Interesting. So in Mauritius, the electricity is so bad then, or why he has this?
Got to have a real strong backup system for that.
But maybe just to get to know each other more, like Keval, what you doing? What's your profession or what you do every day?
Yeah, so Tanel, basically I'm running a company, a small company here in India. And I have like around like 45 plus employees in the company, and we basically do website development, data scraping, mobile application development, document processing, kind of BPO, a lot of things like that. Oh wow, nice to see Mohammed. You face is not visible.
I'm back in the dark.
This is not possible. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I need my UPS actually was supposed to work, but it's not working for some reason. So I don't have my usual half an hour power, but it's good. You guys introducing, and Keval is a very nice person to work with. By the way, guys, if you need more resources, he has a nice team in India. So Keval, I hope it's good, and thank you, Tanel, for informing everyone. I'll try to catch up, but you guys go ahead, continue the discussion in the chat. If I disappear, but I'm gonna load again. I'm gonna load again the presentation now. Okay, here. Keval, how many years you've been doing web scraping? Just as an ID for everyone to know.
I think this might be my 15th year.
Wow.
15 year.
Yeah.
That's excellent.
But who are your main clients with all for your company? You do different things, but
So those are like most of consultancy companies who need like data. Some of them are VC companies who do research on a data. They need data to take their decisions.
okay. Okay, good.
What's the name of the company,
Good.
Kevo?
Thank you.
What's the name of the company?
Smart Web Tech.
You can put the link of your website in the chat, Keval,
Yes.
or we can share it in rtila.com/community. Maybe you can just do a small post, introduce yourself, Keval, with all the links. I think that would
That'd
be
be
nice.
great.
Yeah, sure. I just pasted right now in a chat. So
Yeah,
I can
it is.
put in the community
Ah,
as well.
yes.
It is in the chat. Yes.
Yeah. What you are doing, Tanel?
I'm just a business or salesperson, so I'm working in wood and window factory, and on the sales, managing all the sales. So it's
Got it.
not big company, but it's 15 million euros is the turnover, but our main markets are UK, Ireland, US, Canada now increasing. So it's like 80% we do the export. As Estonia is so small, it's 1.3 million. So it's like one little town in India. So it's the whole
Yeah.
country. Yeah.
But it's really well connected digitally, though.
Yeah, you saying
Oh, yeah.
something, Adriel?
Sorry, guys, I need to re-download on my laptop the the files.
That's okay.
How often is the power outage there, Mohammed?
It's not as bad as today. Normally, it's like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, and my UPS usually works. But today is a bit crazy.
I see.
Yeah, but I have to invest in a much bigger UPS that can hold for a few hours. How is it in Makati? It's pretty stable, no?
It's more consistent here. I'm actually in Quezon City.
Okay.
Usually the rates are higher than Singapore here, but yeah, more often we have consistent supply of electricity.
Oh, that's cool. Singapore is considered very, very high level of stability, no, for the grid. Okay, finally downloaded it. I'm gonna reopen RTILA and hopefully we finish this. Sorry, guys, for the inconveniency.
No,
That's okay.
please.
We will have to plan. In our program, we also plan to have a solar setup to sustain AI automation on premises with the solar panels and batteries and stuff. So that will come handy, but we didn't advance the program fast enough.
we need to scrap some data and send it to some solar companies, and they will just
Yes.
install some
So, yeah,
solar
we can
panels
do
for
that.
us.
Yeah. We promote their
Some
solar panels.
partnership.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, now I'm starting RTILA. I'm gonna load the file and try to finish this.
Now
Not
something
yet.
looks coming in.
Here we go.
Something is loading, presenting
Now
now.
we see.
Okay,
It is.
cool. Okay, cool. So we're back on the presentation, yeah? And we were here on the live demo. Cool. Do you see my RTILA now?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah.
excellent. So I need to do one more thing. Sorry, guys. I need to go to the demo instance, which is right here. You see the Directus, yeah? Okay, cool. I think everything is back here. I'm ready. I'm going to just import. So Tanel, this is what you will do when you download the zip file. You will go and Directus batch files here, and I get this. So now it's here, Directus batch demo, and I will open it again. I normally have a second screen, that's why it's a bit squeezed. Now I'm just on my laptop screen. Okay, let's try to expedite this before I get no more battery everywhere. Yeah, the recording is working. Okay, we're good. We're good. All right, now we're back on this page. So this is a much smaller screen. So I need to split between the two. So what I was talking about was the geolocation, right? Yes, so the geolocation, Tanel, I was telling you that Directus has different types of geolocations. So if I go back here to our settings, data model, and then in the organization table, and if I add a new field, and I'll show you because we will gradually add geolocation capacity as we all gather more experience, we will handle more advanced maps. But you have this called the map type of field. But the map type of field has many subtypes. It has the point. The point is what we use most commonly in our experiences is when you have latitude, longitude, and it's one dot for a company location, a factory location, you know, or something like that. That's what we use right now. We use the type point. So it's map type point. But later on in the program, we will also help some, you know, Tanel for deliveries and geolocation zoning. When you have trucks that want to deliver and you want the optimized delivery road. So we could set up that database and use line strings, which is between point A and point B. Polygon, which is like a zone with 5 dots. And then you can have multi-point and multi-line strings and multi-polygons and complete geometry that can be used. So all these advanced maps things, we can use them later on for those of you who want to develop a mobile app or a web app that does, I don't know, some road delivery optimization or agency zoning. Every agent has this zone, and then you can use a polygon. This is very powerful, and this is only available on PostgreSQL that we installed for you guys with this extension called PostGIST. So PostGIST is a geolocation extension that gives us all these powerful geolocation options. But for now, we are only using the point. Yeah, that's why I wanted to show you these types, because here in RTILA, when I want to catch the geolocation from somewhere, I need to provide 2 lines. I need to provide one line for the longitude, which is point longitude. So the syntax is like this: hash point for the type of map, underscore long for longitude, and then for latitude is the same, point underscore lat. Yeah. So I'm saying right now, what I'm telling to Directus and RTILA, I'm saying that for the point longitude, and the field name that I'm using to save the location is called GeoJSON. Yeah, in yours as well. In your instance here, when you go here, organization, if you do, sorry guys, I need to even put my keyboard light. I don't see my keyboard. Now I see it. So if I do Control F and I look for GeoJSON, you see, it's this field, GeoJSON, which is a map point. You see here, map point, GeoJSON. That's the field name. So that's what I'm saying here in the syntax. GeoJSON is the field name, and then pipe. And after the pipe, I'm telling it the longitude is inside the TD. So this is again very small. It's inside the TD, the second column of the current row, which is this row, this column here, this cell. So I'm telling it, pull the longitude from this cell and pull it from the innerText, because this is not an image, this is not a link, this is a text. And then the second line says point latitude to be fed to GeoJSON field, and it's the third. You see, it's very simple. Once you understand, you can just move the columns. And it's the third cell, which is here, latitude, and it's also innerText. When you send these two together, RTILA will combine them and create the proper GeoJSON, the proper JSON payload, and send it to Directus. And you don't need to worry about the complicated JSON format. You just need to understand that you need one line for longitude and one line for latitude. And if you're not using the CSS, you can just, for example, if I had this data, let me show you here. If I had this data, I could also put it manually. I can just remove this part here and put, for longitude, it's minus 79 dot something, you know. I could do it like this as well. So either you feed static data, or you feed this way that we have, which is we pull from the web page and we automatically feed the latitude and longitude. So this is what happens actually. When we do this, it actually replaces it by this, like this. Yeah, that's what RTILA does for you. Does it make at least a bit of sense?
Yeah.
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 So cool. So now this example is very powerful because it covers for you guys all the valuable type of information. Now you can also, so input is easy, and here I'm doing an input into the field called organization URL, because this is the website of this attraction, and then it's inside the A. There is only one. A is for a text link, and it's in the href value, which is, you see this link here, visit website. This is an A link, and I'm getting the href. And then the image URL, I was telling you, you just put image underscore URL, and the URL is the image in the src value. And here I'm using a drop down. So I'm saying the drop down type. The drop down is called main role. And I want the main role of all these companies to be partners, because I'm scrapping my partners. So I want to mark them in my database as a type partner. Then the M2O, many to one. Many to one is the source. We already talked about it earlier. I'm telling RTILA and Directus, the field is called source, and then go and fetch for me the source name. And this is the source name that I want to assign, is source one. Now, I will ask if there is any question so far, because the M2M is the most complicated, but also the most powerful. But I want to take some questions, guys, if you have anything so far, before we jump into the M2M. Any questions, Daniel? Any raised hands or any chat?
For me, no.
No? Good. Okay. Keval, all good also on your side?
Yep, I'm good.
Excellent. So let's talk about many-to-many. So many-to-many is kind of a unique relationship compared to the others. Let me show you here in Directus. If I go back to Directus here, and when you create a many-to-many relationship, for example, here I have something. Here I have a many-to-many between companies. So you can create a relationship between the same type. Keval, this is actually very complicated to do in a database when you want to relate two entities of the same table. It's a bit headache. But with Directus, we can do it. You can link an organization to another organization. So what I did is that I created this first field, which is called related organization, and then he created the reverse field for the direction, that is called also organization. So these two fields belong to the same relationship. These two fields are actually one relationship, which is a company with another company. And what Directus does inside, or PostgreSQL does, is that when you do a many-to-many, it will actually create a new table, a new column, a new collection that is called organization to organization. This is what is called the joint table or the joint collection. So the joint collection can have its own fields. For example, now, when I'm going to link two companies between them, I'm going to use a name. For example, I can say Keval Corporations owns British Telecom as a subsidiary, because Keval is one of the richest men in the world, and he will be. Yeah. So this is what we code here. And you can see here we have so many fields. These are automatic, the field ID for organization, which is what we call the foreign key for the first company and the foreign key of the second company. The relationship type can be a drop down, and this is where you guys can define how companies relate together. Is it what is the type of relationship? It is a type of competition, shareholdership, audit, regulation, supply, directorship, advisory, audit. You know, you can set up all your type of relationship between two companies, and you can also define the starting date, the planned end date, or the actual end date. because some companies may enter in a contract with the company for 1 year. So Tanel, let's say you know that the company is supplying maintenance to another company for a contract of 1 year. So you can log start date and date. And if the contract breaks in the middle, we can actually save it as actual date, and we know which contract broke before their end term. We also advise you to have a renewal. So when you have a relationship between two companies, sometimes that relationship can be monthly, yearly, lifetime, or there is no renewal. So this adds a lot of value addition, guys, because now we can assign fields to the relationship itself without overcrowding the table organization, because all these data are about the relationship. They're not about the company per se. They're about the relationship between two companies. So this is very, very powerful. This is exactly what Apollo does. Apollo does that between company and people. So a person can be a director and a shareholder of the same company. So this kind of joint table will allow us to code and capture so much data. Yeah. So why I show you this? Because we need to do two things with RTILA. First, we need to say that organization 1 is related to organization 2. So we need to create the actual relationship, let's call it the naked relationship, which will just set the unique ID of the relationship and which will relate the unique ID of company A and company B. We need to do this first before we can fill the other fields. Yeah. So how we do that? We do it with this first line right here. So this first line, I'm going to make it a bit bigger. The first M2M line is actually telling RTILA and Directus the following. Let's try to get the maximum space. We are telling...
Just a quick question.
Yes, of course, Daniel.
Quick question.
Please.
Before we go. The one that you are describing is 1-to-1, not many-to-many. There was 2 organizations.
No, it's many-to-many.
One related to one.
Yes. So no, the relationship is one-to-one in the record. But one company can be related to many companies, and the other companies can be related to many companies. That's how we call it.
Okay.
Yeah. But you're right.
Okay.
The entry is unique. The entry is always between. It's a one relationship between two entities. But the relationship type, you accept. You accept that one company can have many companies related to it, and the other way around.
Yeah. The type itself.
Yeah, so
okay. Good.
Many to many, but good question. That's exactly what we need to cover. So I'm telling here, Directus and RTILA, this is an M2M, and the field, the relational field is called organization, and then the values. So now I'm pipe, and I'm saying I want to relate to my current organization, whatever organization we did, for example, Niagara Falls. Let's say right now we are on the row Niagara Falls. So I'm telling it for Niagara Falls, which you just created the entry for Niagara Falls here using the input name, Niagara Falls. For this Niagara Falls entry, I want to assign as organization relationship these companies, New Corporation 1, MHD Inc, and Alan Inc, and I'm going to add Keval. And I need to write exactly how I did for Keval company. So I need to go back here and make sure that I'm going to match Keval company here, which is, sorry, it crashed, so I didn't save it. So sorry, Keval, I'm going to continue without yours. So I have these 3 companies here. So what I'm saying here is create 3 relationships between Niagara Falls and every one of these 3 companies. I want 3 relationships created. That's the power of this command. So now it's going to create 3 relationship rows, and I'm informing it that the junction table is called organization under organization, and the lookup field, because I only use company names, I want to use the company name to figure out the unique ID of every company. That's what I do at the end here. Sorry, lookup field. I'm informing Directus where to look up for the data. So it's going to look up New Corporation 1 and replace it with its own database ID. It's going to look up MHD Inc. and replace it with its own unique database ID, and the same for Alan. Yeah. So this row creates the initial relationships between the between the X companies and our target company, which in our case it's going to be Niagara Falls 3 relationships with each one with each of these companies. Now, once we create each of this relationship in a loop, we say the second line is also an M2M, but this time we're telling it we want to feed into the junction table. So now I'm populating the junction table equal organization under organization. You know, this table that I was on here right now, this table, you see here, it's called organization underscore organization, which is the relational table, the collection, the, how you call it, the joint table.
It's a new collection, like, yeah?
Yeah, it's called the joint collection. It's a collection that is actually a joint between 2 collections, between 2 entities. So I'm telling it the junction table or joint table is called organization and organization. And inside the entry for this particular company related to this company, I want to affect this target field that is called relation type. Yeah. So I want to modify relation type, which is right here. You see here, relation type. I am telling it in the relation type, I want to assign something, one of these values. So here I am saying in the relationship type, which is a drop down, that's the drop down type, I want to mark it as a competition, meaning that New Corporation, MHD Inc, and Allen Inc will be marked as competitors to Niagara Falls. Does it make sense? Yeah, but I could use partner, I could use lead, I could use supplier, depending on what is the case here. So with these 2 lines, I'm creating the relationship, and not only creating the relationship, I'm specifying what kind of relationship by saying that this is a competition relationship type. So this looks complicated, guys, but this is already 10 times less complicated than doing it with the code. And Keval, you know what I'm talking about because you create these by coding them.
Yeah, it's true.
So now we can do this, and this is like this is equivalent to 3 by 1 by 2. This is equivalent to 6 database queries, but we are doing them with 2 lines. So at first it's complicated because you guys are not used to the many-to-many relationships and relational database, but please just understand the concept that you need to guide Directus by telling it what kind of field, what is the field name, what are the values, and then inside the relationship, which tables you are targeting. That's the main idea and understanding that you need to have as a business person. Now that I have done that, let's look at our database where we are. So I can close this. And we have right now, how many organizations? We have 4 with Keval Corporation, yeah? So Keval, just to make the count easy, I'm going to delete yours for now. Okay, we have 3 companies, yeah? These 3 companies come from source 1. That was my first command that I launched 44 minutes ago. And these first companies, I assigned them as role client. Now, I want to create a relationship between my 3 clients and the 7 wonders travel agencies that we have. And if I look at organization underscore organization is empty. This is the junction table. It's empty. The organization table only has 3. So count is 3, yeah? Now let's go and do some work. Now that we explained that we're going to do a lot of things here, guys. So if you can pay attention, I think you will see the value that this brings. We're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, about 12 or 15 operations in one go. We're going to create the entry in organization with the company name for every row. So we're going to create a row for Niagara Falls, Grand Canyon, Great Barrier Reef, Mount Everest, Christ the Redeemer, Machu Picchu, and Chichen Itza. Yeah, these are 7 of the wonders of the world. So we're going to create the entry. We're going to assign the geolocation, longitude, latitude for each one of them. We're going to on the fly upload the image into Directus and assign it to this entry Niagara Falls, and we're going to catch the URL and assign it as the URL. All this is done on the fly up until here, until the image. So all this data comes from the HTML website, yeah? And then after this HTML website, I'm using additional data, which I'm inputting manually, which I say every travel agency for me is role partner. And also, because I got this from source 1, I will allocate source 1. And now, for every travel agency partner that I have, I want to relate it to every client company that I have, these 3 client companies. So let's look at what this is going to do. Now, if I open Control Shift J, yeah, now we don't have much space. So I do Control L, and so let's give more space to this here. Okay. Now we're going to scrape all this stuff, plus add our drop down, our many-to-many relationship, plus assign the source, and it's going to upload the images, get the coordinates, and do so many things right now. I'm going to run this command, and we're going to look at it working here. If everything goes well, boom, 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 boom. Look at how much work it's doing right now. It's uploading the images for every one of them, setting up the many-to-many relationships, everything. And now it completed the 7 items. Yeah. Let's look at the result here. If I now refresh, we had only 3 companies before. Now I just go natural person, I come back. Now we have 17. Yeah. Oh, I've run this twice, I think. Why do we have 17? 7 and 3.
Why I didn't check the duplicates?
Oh, you're right. I didn't check the duplicates. So let's do this again. I delete everything except our 3 clients. And let's see if I did the duplicates or not. You're right. In configuration here. Yes, I put yes, name. I think I clicked twice when I was squeezing the thing.
But still, even if you click just twice, why, if it's one turn made?
Skip head row. I didn't change this. Let's try again. I may have messed up something here. Maybe I messed up something here. Okay, let's try again. On my other computer, it was working well, so I may have uploaded the wrong file. Let's try again here. Where we go? Here, the play. Now start recorder. This one, run command. Let's see. So it says how many it's going to create. So it should create only 7. Yes, 7 items created. Okay, let's go back. We had 3 and 7, that should be 10. Yes, so I think I clicked something wrong when I was doing the way. So let's hide this so that we have more space. Okay, now let's look at the data. We had our first companies, Allen, MHD, and New Corporation, which are clients for us. And now I have just imported all these partners as main role. You see the image here? We got the image, we got the relationship, we got the geolocation. So let's look at Niagara Falls. So you're going to see how much job was done here by the command. It got the name, it got the URL, Niagara Falls Tourism, and then it got us some additional data. Here the image, look at the image, it's in high quality, it's already saved and allocated to this entry. And it also put for us the geolocation, which is exactly Niagara Falls. Yeah. So all this was done on fly, guys. And now what we have, which is nice, is that when you start to deal with geolocation, you can now use this option here of Directus, is that you can change the layout and use the map. So here again, Keval, to develop a map view for clients, it's such a headache. Now look, I have a world map with all my Niagara Falls, Grand Canyon, Niagara Falls is here. You see, all this is ready in a map. I can serve it to the client as a map. I can do some other things, export, this is the nice thing about Directus. So I'm going to move back into table mode. You also have Kanban, cards. You have different ways of presenting the same data. We will work on them later on. So I just wanted to show you the beauty of having GeoJSON working. So when we scrape from Google Map, we can immediately have our own Google Map or map populated. So this ends the second demo that I wanted to show you, which is which is the pulling the data from a web page in CSS mode and mass upload it to Directus. Any questions, guys? Any clarifications on this? Oh, sorry, I didn't show you the relationship. So here, let's look now at the junction table. Look at the junction table, has 21 items, 3 by 7, because every tourism location is related to 3 of my clients. So 3 clients by 7 partners, that's 21 relationships. So that answers your question, Tanel. Every relationship has a unique line. So Alan Inc., right now my client is type competition with Chichen Itza, which is a partner for me. So you can code like different types of partners and different types of relationships and have them all in one table. I also have the date created that is automatically assigned. And I can go inside and we can enrich the relationships with the, you see the relationship type was fed. This is the first organization. This is the second organization. So we are already populating the relationship entry, but we could add some more things.
We didn't have the relationship, the name of the
Which name?
junction table. The first one.
Oh yes, you're right. So we could put it, for example, it can be, sometimes we get it from a news. So usually we would put the news like Alan Inc. acquired this company and is now leading the industry, something like that. Or you can say Alan Inc. So this is competition. So let's say here Alan Inc. Has a new competitor, which is Chichen Itza. You know, so it's not compulsory the name, because usually the junction table they just need the IDs, they just need the relationship. But we put it for us to make it more easy for us to qualify some relationships. For example, here if I had supplier Alan Inc. and here buyer Chichizen, I put here Chichizen bought 2 windows from Alan Inc. That's how I created a relationship, because it was not competition, it was supplier or whatever. See here, supply. So I say this was a supply. Let's do it, for example. So here I can say Alan Inc. became supplier to Chichen Itza. And we can do this programmatically. I do it also manually. So now this one will have a name. The others, they don't have a name. Yeah. And if I go back, I will find it here, the name. So this is like level 1, which is already a lot of information for all of us to grab, but we will even go much deeper and much deeper, guys. Yeah. But this is the case that we call CSS mode, meaning that we grab the data from a website, a table, and Keval, by the way, we did some tests. Even if you have 1,000 or 2,000 rows in this website, it will do them in batch. It will split it in batches of 100. So it creates 100 entries per batch.
I see.
Yeah, so it's very powerful. We designed this command to do massive scrapping and immediately put the data in the database so that we don't have a mess of CSV files everywhere.
Right. So I just have one question. So let's assume, because right now like everything is on a one screen, right? Yeah. So let's say longitude and latitude are not here. We have to click on some detail page, and then there is those details. So how to handle that thing here?
Yes, that's a good question. I'll show you. Sorry, I think the electricity came back, but not for my computer. One second, I'm on a call.
Oh.
I think this thing is not working. Can you on the lights for me, please? Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, electricity is back now.
Anyways.
No, on the light for me.
It was never off to begin with. Electricity was always on.
So it was my UPS.
I think you're whatever.
So good news, guys. It was not the electricity, so I apologize. Making bad advertisement for the. It was my UPS that died. Okay. So, Keval, do you still hear me, guys?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Keval, you brought up a very good question. So let's say geolocation info was not here immediately available, and also sometimes they're split together, you know, with a comma. So the way you do it is that before you do that, you just use whatever. So you navigate to that page, and then you get it with the selector command. For example, this will catch latitude. Yeah, let's do it very fast. Sorry, this will get longitude, like this. Okay, this will get longitude, and then another command, another selector will get latitude. So this will get me the latitude. And now, so that's just td child 3. Oops, that's not the one. So I catch the latitude here. I'm getting lost. Yes, like this. This will catch the latitude. Yeah. And then, I know. I have a Swiss German keyboard, which is very weird. Swiss French. That's my problem here. Latitude. Okay. So now what you do here, because you catch them, you know, you navigate to that tab, you catch them separately. Now you can actually replace the CSS mode by a static mode, and you do like this, curly bracket. On this keyboard, I don't have curly bracket. 1 second, gentlemen. Yes, unfortunately, I don't have curly bracket. But you see what I mean? Use the curly bracket. You throw in longitude.
Yeah, I got that, but only thing I'm not getting is, like, let's say, because if there is a 2 separate page, right?
Yeah.
So maybe like we have to like send the data to Directus 2 times, one time just company information, and the second time the latitude and longitude.
That's right. You can do that. Yeah. You can do a first.
How to update or add data to the existing already database?
That's a very good question. I was not planning to show you that now, but I can show you if you guys want. So
sorry if I'm asking too many questions.
No, it's good. It's good. We wanted to do just the batch, but that's where you use the regular command. So let me show you here, for example. Let's do that. So Directus, the regular Directus API command, this one, yeah. So I'm going to configure it to use the same API and stuff. So I take here. So I want to append this collection. Authentication is bearer token. I'm going to go get my API key. Go get API key here. Okay, API key. And then we can keep this CSV format, that's fine. I collapse this. Okay, so let me show you now how we're going to do this. Here I open it, and here you have how you do the filters, yeah? Because now you can go back in Niagara Falls, yeah? So you have to first read the data. So what I want to do is update data. So I do update existing data. Yeah, I need to find the record that I'm targeting, and then I will tell RTILA to now go and update this record. So you have the syntax over there. Yeah, so let's try this. So the way you do it is that it's filter, and then in between rectangular bracket, equal something. Now, unfortunately, this keyboard has very bad layout, but I can on again my computer. No, I cannot even. Okay, let me find the solution because I'm a bit. Okay, I got it here. I see the rectangle one.
Can you copy it? Like,
yeah, I'm gonna figure it out. Just 1 second, please. I think it's control.
You can copy from the message as well. Keval put there the curly bracket.
Thank you. I'm gonna copy it from the message. So Swiss
You want
Swiss keyboard are not good for programming. in case you guys bought one. Okay. So in the chat, right?
Which brackets? Which brackets? Yeah, which brackets you wanted? The curly brackets or the square ones?
Both the rectangle bracket and the curly bracket. This one is curly.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you. The second
So
one
both then.
okay, perfect. Thank you very much. So let's do this. Now I'm gonna go get filter and then name. So filter and then rectangular bracket. I search inside the field called name, and then again rectangle bracket underscore eq means equal, and then equal, and now I want Niagara Falls. Yeah. So now what I'm saying to Directus
something you need to put the correct Niagara.
Yeah, Niagara Falls. I think that's correct now. Yeah, Niagara Falls.
Right.
So I'm saying use as a filter the field called name, and I want equal exactly Niagara Falls. So now this is going to lock down in the database. It's going to lock down this entry. If I go back here, it's going to go down and it's go Niagara Falls. Oh, I'm the ratio.
You are on the wrong one.
So here it will lock down on this entry. Yeah. And let's say I'm going to show you, let's change something. We want to change the GeoJSON location. Is that what you want to do, Keval?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
Or any other field, but I have an idea, I think. Yeah.
Yes. So let's do another field that is easier because GeoJSON, we need to do both of them.
Yeah.
I just want to change the status from draft to initial underscore scrape because we did the first scraping. Let's do that.
Maybe just do the phone. I think that's more easier. Just do the phone.
Here. Okay.
Phone.
Yeah, phone. So let's do that. So now I'm gonna go there. We lock on this entry. We know what entry we want to change, and then we go and we change the field here. It's again the same is hash, the type field, which is input, the field name, and then pipe, and then the value. So let's do that. Hash, no. I try to find the hash myself, yes. So hash input field with the I capital. The field name is called phone, I think. We will double check. So hash close. Field name is called phone, and then pipe. I don't have pipe on this keyboard. Kival, can you put me a pipe somewhere in the chat, please?
Yeah, here you go.
Thank you. I'm like a handicapped, you know. Okay, here we go. Pipe. Okay, I got it. Now let's go. So phone, pipe, and then let's say 302 something. That's my phone number. Yeah. So let's double check now, and also let's do Control Shift J. Yeah. So that we can see what we're doing. I'm going to do Control L. Okay. So we're looking on Niagara Falls, and we want to update and put the phone number, and I put everything. So let's now run it and see if I did some mistakes or not. Up, and here success, and it gives you the full JSON. So one field update, you see here, Kibal?
Yes.
The field is updated for the entry ID 821, which is Niagara Falls. And then you can see here, we should have the phone. So I didn't affect the geolocation are still there. By the way, this is the payload that Directus wants, and we are doing this for you guys. Niagara Falls, I don't know where is the phone, but if I do Control F here, phone.
It was there.
Here, you see the phone was sent and confirmed via API. Now, if I go back to my Directus, if I reload, I shall have the phone number there. So let's reload this entry. Okay. And there's the phone number.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
Mhm.
you can see here you guys have full control of your database. You can do batch, mass data upload, single data upload. I think these two commands took us time to build, but they're going to bring us hopefully a lot of value. So we covered this. Now I have third case to show you guys. Do you still have time, or is there okay? No more questions up to now? Do you see anything, Tanel?
Ryan has a question.
Oh yes. So
Yeah,
Ryan,
quick
please.
question, Mom.
Yes, please.
Yeah, consistent to what you're doing right now, is it the same process or slightly differently? I just want to confirm, like, as we're going to build out our databases, there's going to be a growing not only number of organizations and data points, but we're going to want to enrich those, especially with our growing footprint of our data schema, all the different relationships over time. It's the question is really how can we enrich and upgrade the relationship table between them without necessarily with existing data, I guess is the best way to put it.
Yes, so you would use again the batch API, like here. So here we're not using many. You would use the same syntax here. So you don't have to feed all these fields, you just feed the company name that you're targeting, the first row, and then you can go and add relationship information to the junction table, because this will feed into the junction table.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
So it's the same process. We just limit it to the relationship updates then.
Exactly. So for example, here I could have added like even 10 rows after this one. So for example, I could have done here, I copy this, and I go and I say target field is shares amount. Yeah. Shares amount, I add in my database, and then it's not a drop down, it's an input. So it's an input field, and then the value is 10 shares. Yeah. For example, and I underline, and then we are still in the relationship. So maybe here I put here jurisdiction, because the relationship is happening in the jurisdiction. Yeah. And then it's drop down, and I put here Nevada. Yeah, got it? Ryan, does it make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. Can we leave that out the input? Like, so for a lot of these things, it's just creating the additional enrichment of all the relationships, not necessarily adding values to it, right? So we can just leave that part out.
You can do like this. You just need the first one like this. This creates the relationship, just the relationship.
Perfect. Excellent. Thank you.
So you have the full capacity to manage the database. And once you do it one time, two times, then it becomes more easy. But as long as you understand your schema, which is the best thing to have, Ryan, is that you understand firsthand your schema right now. So you will be able, even looking at it, if somebody did it wrong, you can tell them, hey, you're not looking into the right junction table. I don't want to populate organization under organization. I want to populate organization human, because this relationship is between a human and an organization. So that's what we want you to understand, is that you understand as a business person which collection or which table should be related to which table, so that we can guide our technical people. Yeah.
So, thank you.
Cool. Thanks, Ryan. Here we go. And Kemal is one of the rare breed, that understand both business language and technical language. But sometimes developers, they don't understand business language. You have to kind of guide them into the tables and the schema. That's why we want to do this, to equip business people with minimum technology, just to speak a bit closer to developer. Okay, thank you, Ryan, for the question. Let's cover the last case. But now you already have good knowledge. I'm going to show you the last case. Let's look at our database right now, how many companies we have. Any question, by the way, guys? Any other question? Nel, do you see anything? and we are a
No,
bit over time, but
it's okay.
we're on there. Thank you, Anel.
Yep.
Okay,
No.
let's say you have a
Yeah.
lot, you already described a lot of data and you have a CSV file. So we also activated the CSV mode. So it's the same configuration in terms of the database. You remove or you leave the collection empty. And it's the same, the CSV has a header, and I don't want duplicate, and I use the name as duplicate field, so this is good. Now, the same, the field type, Directus field name, but here when you have a CSV, you put column, and the value is actually the column name. So in my CSV, the name of the company, the column that's the name of the field is also called name. And then pipe, the CSV file path. This is what you need to change in your, when you download this, import this, download this file, you just need to change the path of this file. So what I'm telling here, Directus, I'm telling it, it's an input type of field. The field name in Directus is called name. And then pipe, the matching column in my CSV is called name. And my CSV file is here. So for now, guys, we can only use one CSV per query. So I have to put again the same CSV file. I cannot put a different CSV file for now. It's too complicated to manage. So only one CSV file, but you can mix CSV data with static data or coming from RTILA or, you know. So now what I'm doing here, guys, is that I have 100 companies in my CSV file. So I'm going to create 100 companies first inside Directus as an organization. When I create these 100 companies coming from this CSV file, I want to assign the drop-down main role. So main role in Directus will be matched to main role in the CSV file as a column. And in the CSV file, I actually have the role. So let me show you the CSV file. Let's see here. Where is it? Where is it? Not here. Sorry, I'm going. I have it in my disk, so let's open it here. Okay. Let's look at it in Excel. Sorry, my laptop is much slower, but it's coming up. If not, I will upload it to Google Drive. Let's try to upload it to Google Drive as well.
Just as we're doing these operations here.
Yes.
Just as you are doing these operations here. Just for me to understand as well. I don't understand technical, not technical person. So RTILA is really, we are coming from RTILA, just scraping the data, scraping and to the Directus, and now RTILA is manage and
We are
like a database operations as well for in Directus, yeah.
Up until investment or turnover, but even that is not expensive. But we have other systems that we impose which are completely free, that can do a similar thing. Okay, you see here my file. This is, I have 100 companies. I have the row which is the column name is name, and then the second one is main role. And these companies, I want them as this one's competitor, this one lead, this one will be. I can have many kinds of type of relationships, but I'm going to import from the CSV now. So let me show you here. And what I'm going to do is that 100 companies, all of them, I want to create a relationship with my 3 client companies that are already in my database. So I'm telling RTILA and Directus, for every company from the CSV, create a new entry and pull the name and pull the role from the CSV file, create the entry for each of the 100 companies. And after you create the entry for every of the 100 companies, add the source and create a relationship with these companies. So one relationship with new corporation, one relationship with MHD, one relationship with Allen. And this is the junction table. And the lookup field is name. And also, I go back to the junction table and I say the relationship type is competition. Because for all of them, I want them to be competition. These are competitor to my 3 clients. These are my 3 clients. And now I have scraped their competitors. That's basically the use case. I want to do an analysis of the competitors of my clients. Okay, let's now throw this. It's going to read from the CSV file. And it's going to upload the data. Let's go here.
Is the CSV in the correct location now?
Oh, you're right. You learn very well. It's not in the correct location. So here, the CSV path, boom, it stopped already. So you're right. Let's stop this. Let me go and get the right location. So the location, the path, this is the path. So it's good. This covers the way that you guys have to do the same when you move to another computer. So now I got the path. I'm going to replace this path that is on my desktop.
Is the CSV in the correct location now? As you have on laptop.
And the same here. I'm going to replace. And now I have the full path to my CSV file. Thank you, Tanel.
I think I missed that earlier. Is that because of just changing computers, or was that for some other reason?
Yeah, because we all have different folders, you know. Mine here it's called Surface Book 3, but on my desktop it's called User 1. We all have different windows when you change computers, because now you're pulling from a CSV file, so you have to tell it where is the CSV file.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason you have to change it is just because you change devices, right?
That's right. That's right.
Okay.
Which you will have to do once. You only do it once for you.
Yeah.
When you import
Perfect.
it. Okay. So now that we have that,
I think I missed that earlier. Because of just changing computers, or was that for some other reason?
We have. Yeah, we still have 10. So no fake entries. Let's go back now. So let's calculate. We have 100 companies that should be added, and we have 300 relationships.
Yeah, but I mean, the reason you have to change it is just because you change devices, right?
So let's run this now.
All right.
Save. Boom, boom, boom.
Yeah,
So now it's starting to
thanks.
process, and it's gonna batch them, and it created 100 entries. It's successfully completed. Did you guys count how many seconds? It was like just maybe 2 or 3 seconds. So this is very fast, and it will allow us to import massive data that we already scrapped. So now I have 110 entries, but not only I have the 100 companies that came in, and they come from source 2, and the main role is leads. These are leads in my database. So not only I create, this our partner, this one is client, this one is lead, this one is client. So it's pulling from what we had in the CSV file. So not only we created the 100 companies, but also we created 300 relationships. And you see here, we now have 321. The 21 relationships we had at the beginning, 7 by 3, plus 3 by 100, 300. Now we have 321 relationships. You can see that now the database is getting rich even with this amount of data. So I reached the end of the demo, guys. This was a lot because Directus and PostgreSQL is not simple. We cover many modes, so it's a lot of data, but I hope you can see how powerful it is for us to import data in a massive way, and also update it and enrich it as we go. So we're good with this. I'm going to switch my slide to the last slide, and let's see if we have some questions. Tanel, do we still have our people here?
Yes,
Okay, cool.
but no questions here.
No questions? Okay.
I just have one last question.
Yes, please.
Sorry. So instead of name, do you recommend like any other field as a like duplicate check, like ID kind of thing, like?
Yes, of course you can. You can use the ID, but the thing is that seldom people know the ID. But when you're organized like you know the ID. You can use the ID. Yeah. You can. Yeah, but you can use anything that makes sense when you're scrapping on the fly or.
Yes.
But you're right. Also,
But no
Keval,
questions
just for your
here, so.
information, because I think you're also discovering Directus. Let me show you here.
I just have one last question.
Indeed,
Sorry.
Directus here.
So
Let me show you.
instead of name, do you recommend like any other field as a like duplicate check, like ID kind of thing, like?
I go to my organization table. So here the field name, you can make it unique. You see here value has to be unique. And now Directus and PostgreSQL will reject duplicate itself. So RTILA does a pre-saving duplication check, but you can also let Directus reject the entries, and then it will just be an error. It will throw an error. Yeah. So you could now, thanks to this unique field, you can go and make anything unique that you want here. Like the URL, for example. The URL you cannot have two companies have the same URL, so I will make the URL unique as well.
Right.
Yeah. So this is how it works. It's another nice feature in Directus. Thank you. The question was good. Daniel, anything to add, please?
No.
Good.
I have one.
Yes, Bo, please.
Hi, how do you foresee in changing or remapping the comma? Like for example, earlier the name of the companies, they have commas in theirs, and you use that comma in this system as a separator, not really a separator, as an indicator, I guess.
Yeah, as a separator, you're right. Yes.
Alright.
Yeah, let me show you. So you can do it in different ways. You can use our dynamic JavaScript command.
I have one.
Clean it, or we have a command.
Hi, how do you foresee in changing or remapping the comma?
So
like for example, earlier the name of the companies, they have commas in theirs, and you use that comma in the system as a separator, not really a separator, as an indicator, I guess. All right.
So I'm having my problems. So imagine it's curly bracket. Yeah, I will use just like this for now, normal brackets. So let's say the value comes from company name. Yeah. So this will feed the current text that you have, and then you say replace the comma with hyphen, like this, with hyphen. Yeah. And then you can also change the separator. So you can use this command to clean up the data, or you can use a bit of JavaScript. But we will assist you with this, and we will also have soon some tutorials on how to correct data on the fly, and what we call the regular expression, regex rules, and so on. Does it answer partially, at least, your question?
Yes. A lot more, but yeah, I'll just ask them later on. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
No, very good. And also the other way, Bo, is that if let's say CSV, in the CSV you replace it so that you clean up the CSV, and then when RTILA uploads the CSV, it will not have that problem because you can remove it from the CSV. That's what I did in this CSV file. I just removed all the comma for the company name. Yeah. Sometimes you don't need program or use a command, sometimes you just use Excel or Google Sheet to prepare the data better, and it's
looking for
lots of hassle.
Yes, a lot more, but yeah, I'll just ask them later on. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Or anybody, please just
Ryan
Ryan
had a question.
Yeah, I was just threw in the chat, but just curious if there is a library or a key of all the different brackets and pipes and basically a formula or a map key or whatever you want to call it to kind of reference in terms of how things should be done systematically throughout the various fields and whatnot.
Yes.
For me as well, when to use what. So that's the
Definitely. So that's a good question. I'll show you what we started to do, and we have to make it better.
Ryan had a question.
We started creating advanced documentation.
Yeah, I'll just throw in the chat, but just curious if there is a library or key of all the different brackets and pipes and basically a formula or a map key or whatever you want to call it to kind of reference in terms of how things should be done systematically through various fields and whatnot.
For me as well, when to use what. So that's the main question.
Now I don't know where I put it. I need to find it back, Ryan. But we have documentation that we started to do. We will publish it in the community. It will have all the fields, the characters you need to use, and the syntax in like a big page with some business use cases as well. We prepared that. So I'll be sharing the link. I forgot where I put it.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And is it consistent? Is like RTILA and Directus similar in that regard, or they're basically?
No, we adopted the Directus documentation, and we just used exactly as is. So
okay, great.
Yeah, what you have here. Let's show you again here. For example, what you see here as a, how you call it in English, a placeholder. You see, all this is actually coming from Directus official documentation. The filters and how you use the filters, the whole syntax is the one that Directus has. So we have like a 100% match and consistency.
Excellent.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much. And is it consistent? Is like RTILA and Directus similar in that regard, or they are basically kind of using
for Directus right now? So let me show you. Sorry, the syntax we're using for.
Okay, great.
For writing the data in here. This syntax of hash input, it will be the same syntax in all our commands. For example, Google Sheets is also a kind of a database. So for Google Sheet, you will not have to learn another syntax. It's exactly the same syntax. Yeah, so
excellent.
We harmonize the syntax.
That's important. So we learn one syntax language and we've got it, right?
Brilliant. Thank you.
Yeah, we will cover this more, Ryan.
So just one idea, Mohammed here. Yes. For this syntax, is it like possible to like put that kind of small eye icon on the where it says like field definition, some kind of eye icon, and that open like kind of pop up, and we can just copy that.
Yes.
4, 5, 6.
Yes. No, definitely. So what we can be working on it, because right now we don't allow any external links to be opened inside the command panel for security reasons and stability. But you're right. What we can do here,
brilliant. Thank you.
In this description, but we're gonna put a short URL.
So just one idea, Mohammed here, for this syntax. Is it like possible to like put that kind of small eye icon on the where it says like field definition, some kind of eye icon, and that open like kind of pop up, and we can just copy that 3, 4, 6 type of.
And you tell me if this is flowing in the right way. If I go to this, for example, no, not this. We're using also the console log to show documentation. So I think we have it here.
Yeah. Can that be copied? What you have in the bottom, can that be copied?
Console
or
log.
maybe just like have another kind of small button here where you have like run setting. Right?
Yes. We want to do that. Just we need to modify something in our app, and then we can have a pop-up or something. Yes. So I'm not able to run this, but yeah, I wanted to show you with the command line. But point taken, Kezal. We will put the documentation within the commands to help. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, we will go through that. Yeah, my computer is starting to freeze. I can't see my. Okay, it's coming.
Or maybe just like have another kind of small button here where you have like a run setting.
Is it?
No.
You have somebody?
No.
Okay, Tanel, thank you. I hope my computer is not gonna crash. And we don't have our little brother, the Sayonara brother, Eli. How do you say goodbye
That's
in Estonian?
You want to blow your last phrase that you have.
No,
Yes.
we want to hear what.
Head aega
No.
is goodbye. Head aega.
That Aika?
No.
Head
Everything's good.
That Aika.
aega.
Oh, it sounds like no other language. That Aika.
No. Your
Nice.
UPS will now blow, just explode there, so you will lose your electricity.
Yes.
Head aega.
Yeah.
Head aega.
Kiataka. Kiataka. Salam, shalom, everyone.
You want to
Also,
blow
in the
your
community, we will have
last
some
brains
time
that you
to
have.
drop some questions. Yeah?
Thank you, Mohammed.
Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Head aega is goodbye. Head aega.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Yes,
Bye, everyone.
Head aega. Head aega.